Good morning. So I have had a significant amount of viewers who appear to have just took a nosedive in the relationship department. I did the 1st of August reading for Cancer was how it all fell apart, and it was pretty specific. And I have been absolutely amazed at how many people have told me that it was right on the money. So I think I also had a Gemini one back in May that was something similar, kind of like people were like literally getting ready to walk down the aisle and it came to a screeching halt. So there's been some major tower moments for some of my viewers. Now, this doesn't necessarily have to be relationship oriented. I feel like this is more about picking up the pieces after something like that happens. So that's kind of who I'm talking to. It could be you Cancer people who thought you were getting married and going into a significant relationship and then finding out that that was not happening. This could be for you that was getting ready to walk down the aisle and then stopped and made sure that that didn't happen because it felt wrong. This could also be any kind of other tower moment that may have happened to anybody. So I'm just going to kind of see where spirit leads me and see if there's something that comes out that could be helpful to what to do as far as picking up the pieces. So the first thing that I want to do is, all right, that one wants to come out. So after this major tower moment happened, and you're probably kind of standing there stunned. Again, this doesn't have to be because a relationship fell apart. It could be because you lost a job. I mean, any number of things that happened that just kind of has you stunned. So you're stunned, you're standing there, and this is what Spirit has to say about what comes next. So this is kind of, we'll just call this like overall energy from whatever of what we're looking at, what we need to do, what we're going to need to look at to get healed to make sure that doesn't happen again. I don't know. Like I said, I'm just going to see what comes out. I just feel like, though, I needed to do something because when I did that Cancer video and I had so many people saying, oh my God, this resonated, it was really amazing. I had a few people that got triggered from it. So I got some nasty messages from a handful of people. 3, I guess. But the rest of it was very positive, and they were like, oh my God, I can't believe how right on. And that was Spirit that was talking. So you know what? It wasn't me. I'm like, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just the one that pulls the cards, and they're the ones that let the cards fly. I'm not me. So all right, so I have 4. I want one more. I want one more of these. I want to see what this says, and then we'll kind of see what's going on. So I guess this is kind of, I don't know. I'll know when I get the cards out and look at them, what exactly is being said. But the goal here is to help. I want that one. Help get out of the stunned feeling that you have. All right, so the first card up is Psychic Insight. Your third eye is open. See truth for what it is. Follow your intuition. And I feel like one of the things that I realized when I did that Cancer reading was a lot of people, it was a lot of people didn't follow their intuition, or they did follow their intuition, and that's why it all fell apart. So depending on what side of the coin you are, whether you were the one that broke it off or someone broke it off to you, it had something to do with somebody followed their intuition and knew it was not the right thing to do. So I want to highly encourage you, depending on what side you are on, following your intuition is always the best thing to do. And if you were one that didn't follow your intuition, it was going to fall apart anyway. So let's not beat yourself up. It was going to go south. It's better that it went south now instead of later. Second card is Facing Fear. Major spiritual changes are unfolding. This is your chance to soar. So I feel like a lot of you are probably in major fear now because like I said, a lot of you were headed this way and you thought that this was how your life was going, and whatever tower crumbled, it changed the trajectory of your life. And I feel like there's probably a lot of you that are in fear right now because now you don't see how your future is going to go. You kind of saw where your future was going, and now you got that kind of cut off. So this is where you're going to have to really, really trust your intuition, trust your gut, trust the universe to reveal what steps are next. And again, this is kind of what this whole reading is about, to try to help you understand it's going to be okay, regardless of what end you're on. The next one is experiencing grace. Share your gifts with grace. Waves of inspiration and love are coming to you. The next one is divine alchemy. Move beyond current challenges. Focus on what you desire. Okay. So I think that's about manifesting is, so this fell apart. Now we need to focus on what you do want coming into your life. Of course, you don't want that to happen anymore, but you need to just get clear on what you want to have come into your life and review. It's really important to take a look at what happened and how you got to that point and what signs you didn't look at or ignored or whatever and got you there to make sure it doesn't happen again. So this was a major lesson that came along, served up on a silver platter. That lesson was for you and for the other person both. It just depends on, like I said, which side of the coin you are as to whether you were on the painful end or you were on the serving the pain. Transcendence. Rise up, honor your inner force. Steps are being given. Dance with the universe. I think that kind of just said that. Just kind of let the universe take over from here and try to trust that this is all unfolding for your benefit. So so the next question is, let's just say, what kind of relationship do you want to manifest? What kind of relationship, kind of like you weren't going to have that, but you want this kind of a relationship? So what kind of a relationship can you look forward to now that you have put the stop on the bad one? The first one is resolving conflict. So you're going to have a relationship where you guys can resolve conflict equally. Maybe that was off balance before. Maybe one of you liked to fight and scream and yell, and one of you didn't like to deal with conflict whatsoever. So maybe that's one of the reasons that it was off balance and wasn't going anywhere or wasn't going to be a good relationship, because you guys did not know how to resolve conflict. And if you don't know how to resolve conflict, that's something you need to look into. What else can you look forward to in a future relationship that is more, whatever, life purpose? Oh, so maybe you guys are going to do something, a life purpose together, a more fulfilling relationship where you will both be serving your life purpose. Perhaps the old relationship wasn't going to have anything like that, and you were equally yoked, as they say. They say that in the Bible, but I understand that now. You know, it's like if you are in your full alignment and you are working on your life's purpose right now, and the other person was not working on their life purpose, they were not happy, they were miserable, whatever, you guys were not equal. And you want to have somebody that's equal. I mean, I truly believe we all came into this world to work on our life purpose. I say this a lot of times. My job is to heal and help other people heal and to raise the vibrations of the earth. So that's what I'm trying to do right now, is I'm trying to raise the vibrations of the people who just had this tower moment. And if you are not working on your life purpose at the moment and raising the vibrations of the earth, then try getting into that alignment first, and then maybe this perfect relationship that you hope to have will reveal itself. Creativity. So you can look forward to being more creative once you bring in a I'm going to say perfectly balanced relationship. I mean, there is no such thing as a perfect relationship, or maybe there is. I don't know. So I'm going to just keep going. What else can you look forward to now that this relationship the old one is gone? You may be in between, probably in between. Once you heal, I'm just going to say once you heal, serendipity. So that to me means the universe is probably going to be bringing some new people into your world, some destinies, some things, it's kind of like they helped you clear out the stuff in your life that was not supposed to be there. And just like they help you clear out things that are not supposed to be there, they, as in your guides, higher self, whatever, they will bring in the people that you need in order to move forward. So what else can you look forward to? Intimacy. So I'm guessing, and intimacy it can be sexually, but it's also emotional intimacy, and that is being open with somebody and being able to be fully yourself. They are able to be fully their self. Two healed people who come together is going to make a great relationship. And most likely what you were dealing with before was two unhealed people. You were unhealed, the other person was unhealed, and you were bringing a lot of that friction together, and that's why it wasn't working out. And I have to be honest, my whole life, I always heard you have to love yourself in order to meet somebody. And I was always like, you know what, that's all fine and dandy, but how the hell do you do that? I now feel like I have done that for the most. I may have a little bit of healing left, but I feel like I have taken care of the major rocks that were in the way to preventing me from finding that great love. So I am looking forward to this with somebody. I don't know who it's going to be at this point in time, but I feel like I have done my shit. So now it's time for something good to happen. All right, I want to ask. These are for people who had this tower moment, who had this relationship that fell apart. What kind of wounds do you want to look at? Sticking points, blockages, call it whatever you want. Things that maybe you need to look at and get resolved or cleared out before you go into the next relationship. So, because obviously we do not want what just happened to happen again. Whether it was you ignored the signs or what the deal was, but barrier. Okay, so I just did a video, and I would say that's a heart wall. So to me, this is the heart wall card. And I just did a video on what a heart wall is. And a heart wall is an energetic thing that we have put up that is to protect us from getting our heart broken. We add on to that layer after layer after layer after layer over the years, and it could have started as soon as you were born. It could have happened when you were 6 or a teenager. Those first layers start coming up, and then if you've been divorced and remarried, you've lost parents, you've lost children, you've lost great loves, you've been stabbed in the back, you've been betrayed, whatever the case is, you have built this barrier over your heart. And if this just fell apart, it is very possible that you are going to be building another big wall, and you have got to make sure you don't do that, because you cannot go into a good relationship and be emotionally unavailable and only willing to share 25% of yourself because you're afraid of getting hurt again. So we have got to work on this. That is something that I am becoming more and more and more proficient in with these quantum healings. It seems to be where I feel like I'm being led. So if you need to have that heart wall broken down and make sure that you don't create another one, send me a message. We need to talk about that. Family was an issue. Perhaps the person that you were getting ready to go into a relationship with, or family was an issue. You were either trying to make your family happy or the other person was trying to make their family happy. And that's when they realized they weren't making themselves. You weren't making yourself happy. Family has a lot of influence over a lot of people. So make sure that whoever you are picking for this relationship, it's not to make your family happy. It is to make yourself happy. And make sure the other person isn't doing the same thing. Sometimes we pick the people that look good on paper. They check all the boxes for what is a normal relationship, but maybe that's not really what makes your heart zing. So make sure your family is not influencing your significant relationships, significant intimate relationships, we'll just say. And what else is a sticking point that probably needs to be healed before you, that one wanted to come out and I caught it. What else do you need to look at and heal before you go into another relationship, or be aware of at least? Received. I see that as like intuition. You've received intuition. You've received messages. You need to pay attention to that. I think one of the reasons this relationship fell apart was somebody was getting intuitive hits and they were ignoring it. Someone was receiving intuitive hits or warning signs and they were ignoring it. Could have been you, could have been the other person. Whatever the case was, it was somebody was out of alignment and somebody was ignoring being out of alignment, and that's, why it broke down was because they finally got smart, you finally got smart and realized this is the wrong thing to do. Muse. Perhaps that person was some of your inspiration, or you were, let me think about that. If that was a sticking point, you need to find the inspiration within yourself, the spirit within yourself. Perhaps you were using that other person a little bit too heavily, or they were using you to make their days better because they weren't able to do it on their own. Kind of like they were already unhappy and they were trying to make you be their happiness, or vice versa. You are not responsible for making somebody else happy, as they are not responsible for making you happy. That's a lot of burden on one person. So if that was any part of this whole breakdown, make sure that you are fully, wholly healed within yourself. I will repeat that again. Whole people coming together make a really, really great love relationship. Two broken people coming together do that and then divorce a few years later. Don't do that. Karmic partner. This was a sticking point. So let me think about that. If that is a sticking point, there's somebody, I feel like that's somebody else in your life or their life had influence over this relationship. Whether it was positive or negative, somebody else had some had some influence. And this may have been a karmic partner that you were. Karmic to me is strictly you came together to learn lessons from each other. It's it's a soulmate relationship. Everybody comes into relationship to learn lessons. This was not a relationship that was supposed to go on to full-blown, bigger, better relationship, great love relationship. This person may have just been there for each of you to learn lessons from, in order to clear out a bunch of that stuff so you can have the great love afterwards. Right? So if that's the best thing that comes out of this, is that it causes you to look at how you got there in the first place and go, I'm never going to do that again. Let's figure out what the problems were and clear that up and clean it up and heal that. And then it allows you to get where you want to go. Then that's the best thing that could have happened, right? Action. You're going to have to take some action on that healing. It is not going to happen overnight. It is not going to happen by itself. You're going to have to look deep down inside and figure out where the wounds come from. their self-worth wounds, their probably childhood wounds, parental wounds, abandonment, all kinds of things that rear its ugly head that cause problems. So I'm just going to leave that there. I think you know what I'm saying. One more thing here, and I think then I'll be done. Last words from the universe about this. Okay, so let me think about this. What you can look forward to, what you need to heal. I'm trying to think of what question to ask, and are these the right cards? I want to go, you know what, I'm just going to say last words from the universe. Last words from the universe about this breakdown, why it came along, what needs to heal, why it happened. I don't know, whatever. We'll see what the cards say. 2 fell out. Heaven on earth. That would be to get you to heaven on earth, and that relationship was not going to be heaven on earth. And the gateway, that makes me think that you have just entered the gateway into that next phase of your life to possibly get heaven on earth. So what else? Last words from the universe. Last words. Maybe I might have one more deck I want to use here. Last words from the universe. Oops, 2 more cards. Oh, we got, all right. Fear. Actually, that's the second time fear came up. Facing fear. So you need to face the fears that have cropped up now. You thought you were going one way, something else was coming in, and maybe you picked the person that you did, or the other person picked you because they were afraid of whatever. Figure out what you are afraid of. You need to worry about yourself, not the other person. But miracles. Have faith that miracles can happen, and deal with your sorrow. You've got some grief that's happened. You need to make sure you deal with the grief that happened from this breakdown. Because if you don't, you're going to end up with a heart wall that's going to be stuck there, that's going to prevent you from moving into a new, wonderful relationship. So yes, it's important to learn your lessons, but make sure you heal from this before you move into something new. And there's a reason they call it a rebound relationship, because a lot of people will jump into another relationship really, really quickly because they're in so much pain. They're looking for anything to make them feel better. And then they just get into another bad relationship because they did not look at the problems that got them in the last one. So don't do that. Deal with what's came up, figure out why it came up, heal it, and then don't do that again, and look forward to a future of, I'm not making that mistake again. I made it the last time. The next time I'm going to do things differently. Forgive yourself, forgive the other person, and move on. So I don't know if that was helpful. I hope it was, but I will look forward to any comments that you may have. Talk to you later. Bye.